The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and around the world on the Mutual Broadcast Network, the Talkstar Radio Network, the X Zone Broadcast Network, and the IPBN Radio Network. You can always send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV, and our radio website at www.xzoneradio.com. Exonation now, did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone and Dark 30 and every other minute of the Mutual Broadcast Network by calling 605-562-4204. And that's courtesy of TalkStream Live. No smartphone app or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 605-562-4204 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Exonation, my guest this special segment of the Exxon, it's a 2-hour segment, is Chuck Stansburge. We had Chuck on the show a couple of months ago, and we received a lot of email asking if we would have him back on. And Chuck is the MUFON State Section 12 Director. He's a STAR team member, CAG member, and field investigator. And he really enjoys what he does here on Earth, investigating sightings, abductions, and mutilations. It has been about 26 years now that Chuck has been involved in ufology. And Chuck, welcome back to the X Zone. How are you, good sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Chuck. Thanks very much for coming on and spending 2 hours with us, because the last time you were on, we really had to rush things through. Yep. And, an hour seems a lot sometimes, but with somebody like you, we had to give you 2 hours. It was the only fair thing to do.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. So, Chuck, would you be able to tell us what brought you into the UFO arena?
Well, yeah. Excuse me. It's kind of a long story. Well, not really long. It's kind of short. But a bunch of us guys were up in the mountains in Colorado, and it's called Echo Lake, and we had little bonfires there in where they have the little huts. And I said, "Hey guys, I got to go. I got to get down the hill, and it's about 11:30, so I got to get home." So I started leaving. I got maybe, I don't know, about a mile and a half or so down the road, and I saw this. All of a sudden, this huge, great. I mean, you take your hands and arms, go stretch them way out. That's how big it was by the naked eye. And it was an orb, and it had to have been at least 10, 15 miles away from me. And I thought, what the heck is that? And it started getting brighter and brighter, and I started covering my eyes up. And then next thing I knew, I was 5 miles down the hill, still in my car, and it was 3:30 in the morning. So that I did not talk about it, evidently, because I couldn't quite remember it until somebody, a friend of mine up there in Laramie, Wyoming, he was a professor up there. He did a hypnosis on me. So I found out
Mhm.
that's how I found out that much of it anyway. And I just it just boggled my mind. So I really got into it pretty good after I got in the Marine Corps and saw a few uh, UFOs out there.
All right, so let's continue this on the other side of this short break. Charles, thanks for joining us tonight. Looking forward to spending 2 hours with you, my friend. Exo Nation, Charles Chuck Stansburge is our special guest. He is MUFON State Section 12 Director, STAR Team member, CAG member, and field investigator. And we're going to be talking to Chuck about UFOs, abductions, mutilations, and much more. Don't go away. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. This is a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Don't go away. Welcome back, everyone. Charles Stansburge is our special guest this hour, whereas he is better known throughout the UFO community as Chuck. He's a MUFON State Section 13 Director, STAR Team member, CAG member, and field investigator. Chuck, what does State Section 12 entail?
Well, let's put it this way: it was Section 16, and I only had 9 counties. And then they switched a few things around, made it 12, Section 12, and I had 23 counties because one of our, I hate to say it, but one of our field investigators and section directors had passed, and they went ahead and gave me some of her counties, and now they revamped it again, and it is now Section 6 with 45 counties, and it stretches from the Louisiana border all the way over to the Mexican border. So I got quite a bit of a piece of property there.
So how many square miles would that be, Chuck?
Oh my goodness,
that's a piece of territory and a half.
Yeah, it is. Most people I contact with either on phone, Skype, or I will, excuse me,
sure,
email because some of them don't want to talk about it or anything. So we just put it in there as a not incomplete, but a oh my goodness. Boy, my mind's a blank right now.
All right, so these are people who don't want to file a report?
No, they file a report. Some of them file a report, but they don't have a phone number.
I see.
On the report, and it just has an email. I'll go ahead and send an email, and the report will be information only, and so we really don't know what takes place. And we have to go by what they have on the report.
Are UFO sightings up? Are they staying at par, or do you find they're decreasing?
Well, they go up and down. I think it was last few months we've had a pretty good bash, and now it's starting to slow down again. But it just, I guess it all depends on what they may need or what's going on around the country or the world, basically. But there are a lot of UFOs. Now, some of the countries, some of the like Argentina, for instance, they have two people working that whole country, and one half of it belongs to one guy, and the other half to the other guy, and they might get one case per month, but there are. I've talked to one of the field investigators there, and he says that they get a lot of people talking about them all over the country, and but they don't want to report it. It just fascinates them, I guess, and they just want to leave it like it is.
So tell us, you were telling us when we started the hour about you were out camping with a bunch of buddies in Colorado.
Yeah.
It was time to go home. You got in your car. You were going down the mountain towards your home, I would imagine. You saw this giant-sized orb, and then you went through a hypnosis session with somebody. And what was the results of the hypnosis? You know, you were missing, what was it, 3.5 hours, basically?
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Well, basically what it was. See, I didn't realize that this thing was doing what it was going to do. You know, maybe take me in or something. I don't know, but evidently it did, because I had missing time, 3.5 hours. But that's what I got out of it. I don't remember anything inside the ship, but I do remember waking up, and I looked at my watch, and it was 3.5 hours later, and the craft was still out there, but it was only maybe twice the size of a basketball, and then it just got real bright and poof, gone.
What year would that have been?
65. 1965. I was a senior in high school.
My goodness. And was that the only UFO sighting or encounter or loss of time that you've had over the years?
As far as I know. But I really got into it pretty good, even though I was a state trooper in Colorado for a while, and I went to Oklahoma and retired as a city cop. But there was one incident. I had to take daughter-in-law and the 3 grandkids back down to Kingman, Arizona, and I was going across 160, and it was dark. It was late that night. It was dark. And I glanced over towards the mountains to my left, and I saw this white orb, probably about about 2 sizes of a softball. And I looked at that, and I thought, now that can't be the moon. And I looked again over there, and I said, "Hey guys, wake up, wake up, wake up." I could not wake them up. They would not wake up. This thing followed me all the way down to the Four Corners. And the reason why I said it was following me, because the mountains are 30 miles away from me, and they're up around 12, 13,000 feet. And this thing was even with me as far as sight wise. And I knew it was below the mountains. So I'm like, holy moly. And once I got to the Four Corners, it just disappeared. That was it.
Any idea who they were or where they were coming from?
No, I have no idea. No idea.
You know, earlier,
I'm assuming it's the same craft that happened back in 65.
why do you think you were selected? You were chosen by this craft or these people?
I have no idea why I was taken for the first time, but ever since, I've gotten to know a few people that are people that talk to ETs,
Right.
and I was introduced to one, and I got to talking to him. I didn't know his language, but I had to have somebody to interpret.
Wait a sec, you got introduced to an ET?
Yeah.
Where did this happen?
This was like about 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. About 4.5 years ago, yeah. And this was in Canada, by the way.
That explains it.
But he introduced me. He brought his girlfriend in. Now this was with Skype. This is with video Skype. He had another couple.
Wait a sec. Wait a sec. Hold on here. I just want to make sure I'm understanding. You were video chatting with an extraterrestrial that's up here in Canada.
Well, more or less, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. And then the extraterrestrial brought his wife into the conversation?
No.
Oh.
My friend brought his girlfriend into the fold, you might say.
Okay.
Brought me in and introduced me to the couple.
Yeah.
That was sitting there, just man and woman that also lives in Canada, on the West Coast, East Coast, matter of fact. And he says, "Are you ready for that?" I said, "Ready for what?" He said, "I'm going to introduce you to Sarek." And I said, "Who's Sarek?" And he says he's a commander of a battleship, and he's probably going to be here shortly. So all of a sudden, this woman started typing, the zeros and the ones and zeros, all the way down.
Sure, binary code.
Yeah, binary code. And he said, "You got." He said, "You got a word?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Okay, paste." He says, "Copy, paste as fast as you can." Okay. So I started doing that, and we started about 11:30 that night and quit about 3:30 that morning. But it was kind of weird. I mean, it fascinated me, but yet I couldn't understand what was going on, because he would, his name is Keith, and he would talk to this being in his own language, and they would be talking about things. I said, "Okay, what are you guys talking about?" And they said something about two of their craft got too close to the black hole, so they have to go get them, try to get them out of there. And I said, "Hey, I want to go." And so this Sarek person, he looked straight up, and then I'll be right. And he said in English, "I'll be right back." And I said, "He could speak English?" He says, "Oh yeah." So okay, and so a couple of minutes later, he was back, and he started with his language. And I said, "What did he say?" And Keith said that you can go. You have to sit down, stay where you're at. You don't walk around the ship. You don't talk to anybody. It's just for, what do you call it? A learning session, you might say, of what goes on up there. And so that night when I went to sleep, all of a sudden I woke up because I had a tingling feeling all around my body, not in it, all the way around it. And my hands were straight out behind or next to my body, and I was straight out on an angle a foot above my bed.
All right, we're going to have to do a little bit of a cliffhanger here, my friend, because I have to take my news break at the bottom of the hour, coming up in about 20 seconds from now. Exo Nation, you don't want to miss this. Charles Chuck Stansburge is my special guest, and he's going to tell us about his extraterrestrial voyage right here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. This is the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard, and we'll both be back on the other. Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and got something special for all of you X Zone listeners and Dark 30 listeners. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone and Jeremy Scott's Dark 30 and every minute of the Mutual Broadcast Network by calling 605-562-4204. Now, that is with the courtesy of TalkStream Live. No smartphone app or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Once again, all you have to do is call 605-562-4204 to listen on any phone, anytime, and anywhere. Exonation, my guest this hour is Chuck Stansburge, and we were talking to Chuck before we went to the news about a conversation that he had via Skype with an extraterrestrial. And Chuck, when last we were speaking, we had a little bit of a cliffhanger. But you asked what was his name, Sirik?
Yeah, Sirik.
If you could actually go on a mission to retrieve two craft that apparently went through a wormhole or a black hole?
No, it went too close to the black hole.
Oh, went too close to the black hole, right.
Yeah, they had to get it out of there, otherwise it'd be torn apart.
So continue with your story, my friend.
Well, when we got on board, I was looking around. I couldn't really see what the beings looked like, but I could see shadows. They wouldn't allow me to, they allowed me just that much. And I looked next to me on my right, and there was an ET sitting there. And then over here on my left, there was a human and then another ET over there. So we were kind of like buckled in. And it was amazing. We kind of gotten thrown around a little bit because once they got out there I guess what they did was take their all three of the craft together and started like a spiral, and it brought them out of there. So there was a few injuries, but nobody was really killed or anything. It was quite something.
No, let's go back a little bit here. Where and how did they come and get you in order to take you out of Earth orbit to go to these ships?
Well, like I said, I had this tingling feeling, and when I was a foot off of my bed, it woke me up, and I thought, oh my goodness! And I heard this grunt right next to me, right on my left side, and I heard this, and I went, sorry. Next thing I knew, I was on board ship, and it was a small one, and we had to go from there on up past the sun to get to the main craft, and went from there.
How long were you gone?
Well, I'm not sure how long, but it seemed like maybe 5-6 hours or maybe even 10 hours. I don't know. But I got back. They dropped me back. And I mean dropped me back in my bed. And I said, thanks, guys. And I looked at my watch, and it was, I think it was like almost 3 o'clock. So they brought me back basically pretty close to the time they took me.
What was it like in the craft, the small craft that took you to the larger craft?
That is hard to explain because I really don't know, because all I could see was just shadows, and I didn't see really anybody else other than the ones that were sitting next to me.
I got you.
And once we got to the main craft, that's what they did again, just make sure we got set up on and strapped in.
So what did this ET look like that you were having the conversation with on Skype?
Well, if we had video, I guarantee you I could show you. But what I'll do is I'll email it to you.
Okay.
What he looks like. It ain't pretty, but it's what he looks like. But he's a pretty good guy, and
yes, sir.
Yeah, and I started going back and forth with Keith up there, and
Mm-hmm.
Then they started taking me up there on my own, and they decided they were going to start training me on different things for the craft, and they were going to try to. They've been trying to get me to, let's put it this way, talk their language, and it is very hard because I don't know how to do it really.
So what do they want to train you to do?
Well, they made sure that I knew most of the places on board
Mm-hmm.
of the battleship, and it was about maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. It was not. It was longer than that. I think it was about maybe 2 or 3 months later that when they brought me up, I was looking straight into the face of one of their kind, and it was a female, and she was my trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were training me on was weaponry.
What kind of weapons?
And these weapons, let's put it this way: their seats are a lot taller than I am, because they're up about 8-9 feet, and but they went ahead and redid one section just especially for me, I guess, to where I could pull the triggers, and you have one on each side. One of them, the one on the right side, is what they call, what I would call, the red button. The one on the left would be the blue button. That's what I would call them, but they don't have it like that. They were trying to show me what's what, and when you shoot the red one, it's like a plasma, and this plasma ball, I mean, it is huge. It is about as big as this house, and it hits and destroys a craft. And the blue one disables it, and so that way they can board, and take whatever they want. And this is the enemy that are trying to sneak into our galaxy and do things that they shouldn't. So we're pretty much protected.
How big is the ship?
Sarek is pretty nice. He's a pretty nice guy.
He is, eh? Where is he from?
Well, I don't know the name of their planet, but he's a vegan, so I assume the vegan planet. Their planet is over 750 million light years away.
That's a long way.
Yeah, it's a long way. But when you traverse the just our galaxy only, it's like being in a patrol car, you might say.
Right.
And when you're cruising around, it is amazing to see all the different things that are out there, the planets, the stars, the colors, and it's just amazing.
Chuck, would you say that this craft, the Battlestar that you're talking about, would you say it's highly advanced technologically?
Oh yes, very much so.
Really? Then I'm kind of baffled why they would need someone to manually use the weaponry.
Well, they found out I was in the military, and of course I had the 8mm 6 and the 6mm cannons. So
I see.
They knew I was in the military because they even asked me if I was in the military. I said, yes, I am. I was. So they decided to start doing that for me, and now I have my own crew of 7.
And how big is this Battlestar? This Battlestar cruise ship
is huge. It's it can hold up to 500,000.
Now, are we talking 500,000 warriors or 500,000 passengers?
Both.
Really?
Yes.
So what is it used for?
To keep us safe, and it destroys the ships that try to come in our galaxy to devastate. For instance, at one time Mars was just like Earth, nice and green and all this good stuff. Way back millions of years ago, they had a big hoodoo up in this area, and both Earth and Mars were devastated, completely just like Mars is right now. And Mother Earth,
Mm-hmm.
they from what I was told, they claim
Yeah.
that Mother Earth started bringing up trees, grass, just different things around different parts of the world, and they thought, well, we better go ahead and help her refurbish. So ever since then, they're trying to keep our galaxy safe because it is one of the richest in the universe.
So how often do you go and man your post on board this Battlestar ship?
Probably 4, maybe 5 times a month.
And how long do you go for?
Well, there was one time I think we were gone for a week
Hmm.
because the day and night would go by, you know. I didn't really pay that much attention, but when they brought me back,
Mhm.
when they took me, it was like 2 o'clock, about 2:15 in the morning, and when they brought me back, it was 6 o'clock in the morning.
What does your family say when you go off on your galactic tour of duty?
Uh, they know I do that. Especially my wife, she comes in here once in a while and see if I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not sitting over here in the couch watching TV, then she knows she knows right where I'm at, and she knows that. And she was very skeptic about UFOs because she didn't believe in them
Right.
until she saw 2 of them.
Have you ever been engaged in a battle while manning your post on board this battleship?
Yes, a couple of times.
Really?
A few times, in fact. We would go out on the outer rims, of our galaxy where the battle is,
Mm-hmm.
and we would do our thing to keep everything safe around him.
If this sounds like it's a huge, massive ship holding 500,000 souls, where do they keep it?
Most of the time, it doesn't come any closer, probably than around Pluto. And then they send the smaller ships in. And before anybody, I mean, one of the answers that people don't 90%, well, actually 90% of them do ask me, how do you eat? What do you eat? And I say hamburgers, spaghetti, whatever, you know, like we have on Earth. What they do is they will send a small ship with several, probably about 50 humans, and bring them in different parts of the world because you have your different ethnics. And so they would gather a bunch of food
Mm-hmm.
and then bring it back to the ship and then go back and get some more. So we would have enough up there for maybe 2 or 3 months.
Why wouldn't they use a synthesizer, a food synthesizer?
Well, they don't want to do that because they want the people that are up there to be happy, in a sense,
Gotcha.
to have what they normally eat, drink, whatever the case may be. And it's the same way with any other ETs that are aboard ship, besides the vegans.
How does everybody get along from all the different planets, from all the different cultures, all the different species?
Everybody gets along great.
Really? How do you
you
communicate
have-
if
you
there's
have
so
little
many different
spats.
people?
Huh?
How do you communicate if there's so many different species, so many different
That's
dialects?
That's when you come in to get a translator.
I see. So by what authority do they patrol the galaxy? Under which flag?
The Galactic Alliance.
And where's their home planet?
Um, the Galactic Alliance,
Yeah.
that is on board ship. there is what they call a mothership,
Mm-hmm.
and all the beings that do, I should say, all the beings that are part of the Galactic Alliance
Mm-hmm.
are basically from different worlds.
So the Battlestar, the battleship, is smaller than the Galactic Alliance ship?
Just a little bit,
Wow.
yeah.
And
Not
how are
much.
what is the propulsion system on these ships?
That is a good question. They would not allow me in there, but all I hear is most of the time a humming sound,
Right?
and we just scat through the galaxy like nobody's business.
During your time on board, is there an artificial gravitational field, or do you float in 0 G's?
No, they do have artificial gravity. It's not as heavy as Earth is,
Mm-hmm.
so you got to kind of watch it when you start walking. Just make it slowly walking. Otherwise, you'll be starting to jump
Yeah.
a little bit. But,
How long did it
yeah.
take you to adapt to your space shoes?
Well, my space shoes are the ones I wear.
Yeah. No, I
And,
was using
so-
that as a metaphor for how long did it take you to get
okay.
used to the gravity,
It took a little bit to get used to it,
right?
But once you get used to it, it's pretty easy.
How do you know when they're going to call you for duty, or you're there in your house 1 minute, the next minute you're on board?
More or less, what they do is when I sit down over here on the couch to watch TV, I will hear a clicking sound. It's like and that's what it sounds like. And when I hear that, it's on my right hand side. I'll say, "Sarek, is that you?" And it'll go. That means yes.
Wow.
And I said, "So we're going up tonight," and he would go. So I said, "I'll be ready."
All right,
And
stand
that's
by.
it.
We've got to take our final break for this hour, but Charles is going to be with us the entire next hour as well as we continue this fascinating conversation. An actual human being who's been on board a Battlestar, who is a gunner with his own team. We're going to hear more. Don't go away. And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell. Our guest this hour is Charles Chuck Stansburge. He is a MUFON State Section 6 Director, STAR Team member, CAG member, and field investigator. And as you've heard over the past hour, he is also a gunnery officer aboard a starship, Battlestar ship. He and I believe it's 7 other members of a crew are part of this gunnery. The ship houses up to 500,000 souls from all over the galaxy and beyond. And the ship is massive, according to Charles. Chuck also says the ship is moored, for a lack of better words, on the other side of Pluto, well out of the view of peeping telescopes from planet Earth. Chuck, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Did I miss anything in that interpretation, Chuck?
No.
Okay,
you
good.
didn't miss a
good.
thing.
All right, good. I when you were talking about when Sarek contacts you, it's 1212. When you say, "Is that you?" and he'll snap twice.
Yeah.
I just hope you never eat a bowl of Rice Krispies when that happens, because then the entire thing will get lost.
Yeah, that's true.
So how long have you been going up and fulfilling your duties aboard this starship? And does the craft have a name?
It may have a name, but I don't know what it is. I never asked.
Yeah.
All I know is that it's beautiful to see, to look out into the stars. You might say, Because on the bulkhead, parts of the bulkhead, when you're walking down like a hallway,
Yeah.
It's like a mirror. It's like a window. You look out, and you can see all planets and stars going by, and just different things. And let me tell you, this thing moves fast. Believe you me. But it is quite something to admire. I've always wanted to do that, and I finally got my chance, and been doing that now for roughly 4 years, going up and down, maybe 4.5.
Have you ever gone to the bridge of this craft?
Yeah.
What's the bridge like?
Oh, it's massive and it's awesome. I mean, I look at all this stuff in there and I go, what the heck is all this stuff? I don't even know what everything is.
Do they mind that you go on international radio shows and tell the world what you've been doing, where you've gone, and that the existence of this massive battle cruiser?
Yeah, they yes, they like it. As a matter of fact,
Really?
they want to make sure that even with all the other different ETs, that maybe the Earth people should know what's going on, because governments ain't going to help you. The Galactic Alliance, most of the people that are in the Galactic Alliance has been on Earth. They have gone to a lot of the governors, or not governors, but the presidents of the countries, and trying to say, hey, look, you are a one species. You're the human race. As like, say, Sarek would say, we are one race. We are vegans.
All right, stand by, Charles. You and I have to take our commercial break. My friend will be back in about 6.5 minutes from now. Charles Stansburge is our special guest, and we'll continue on the other side of this news break for a special 2-hour edition with our very special guest, Chuck Stansburge, as we continue here from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.